And I remember I made a whole tape of like 14 songs of trap beats, and I still have them.
Oh man,
nobody will ever find them.
I need to hear those. I need to hear. Can you play one? Could you play one as an intro for the podcast, please, bro? Please.
You want me to play one for the intro of the podcast?
Please.
I actually can. Like I genuinely can.
Oh man, I want to hear that.
Yeah, the one that went crazy, it went platinum on the streets, was called Fire Trap. I named it Fire Trap. Yeah, it was called Fire Trap, and I was so proud of that beat.
Yeah.
FM on this beat.
Yo, what's going on? What is up? What's going on? Everybody, welcome to the 30%, episode 100 of the 30% podcast. That makes me happy. Episode 100. We've done this 100 times. Afa, how are you feeling, man?
Yo, yeah, man, bro. Episode 100, man. That's insane. Like, that's cool. Crazy. That's actually, it's surreal.
It is.
Yeah, I'm as excited as you.
Never could. I didn't think we would make it. Actually, no.
I know what you're about to sing.
No, you're gonna let me not start singing. But yeah, no. Episode 100. Shout out to everybody who's been listening to us, and who is listening currently, man. We really appreciate you. Like for real. This is a podcast that we started to talk about the Kenyan music industry and the fabrics and the foundations and the frameworks, all F's, and the frameworks of it, and just like shed light to a couple of things, artists, music, and everything. So, yeah, man, it's very, 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 personally, I'm just very appreciative of what we get to do here, and that we get to do it with the greatest of all time, producer extraordinaire, future Grammy winner, Afam Efuna, G's Afam himself. What do you have to say to my introduction? Wow. Okay.
I mean, I appreciate the belief.
Oh no! Yeah,
man.
Come on, belief is everything.
Yes.
Yep. How's it going, man?
And likewise.
How are you doing?
Likewise. Yeah, bro, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. Yeah, just chilling, man, for the 100th time. What am I even saying? Anyway, let me be serious. Yeah, I'm good. Happy to be here as always. Yeah, man, just living life. I mean, for me this week, I wouldn't say I've done anything like, this noteworthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just existing, I guess.
Existing.
How about yourself, man?
It's cool. This week was full of work. I was recording a voiceover for the ad I was talking about, which was cool. I ran into a legend in the studio, actually. I don't know, a lot of people might know him.
Who did you run into?
He's a legend in the gospel scene. His name is Pete Odera. Like I don't want to say old because he's still very youthful, but then he was like a very, very instrumental in terms of the gospel scene. Like back in the day when it was bubbling, he was part of them. He was part of some group, and then he did his own solo stuff. He's great. We were struggling with the voiceover, and he came into the studio, and because he has experience, he just like he just snapped everyone into place real quick, and got results in half or less than half the time that we were sitting there trying to figure out how to get the emotion out of the voiceover artist. But the voiceover artist was pretty talented too. Shout out to him. But yeah, anyway, so that was that. I was cool. I was in the studio doing client work, which is always fun. Apart from that, not much happened. Saturday, I was outside.
Oh, really?
You
were outside? Where were you?
Yep. Took myself outside. Went to see LC Wameo. She is back in the country from her tour, and she was playing in the Gecko Cafe. So that was fun. Yeah, it was a good show. I mean, I wasn't. I need to learn how to do shows better and move in shows, because I just like sitting at the back and watching everything happen, rather than being in front and like vibing and jumping to songs and, you know, the energy and hype. Like for me, being outside is I'm very, very, very comfortable in just being laid back and sing. So I was not in front, but then it sounded good. She's a good performer. Her band was pretty good too. It was great. And then she sold merch outside. I think I bought merchandise for the first time in a long time from an artist. I caught myself something from her merch stand, which was really cool. She had a bunch of t-shirts, hoodies, vinyls of her projects, and some like jewelry and stuff. So yeah, that was dope. Met a couple of people out there. It was really fun. Enjoyed that. And then from there, went over to the Mist in Westlands, same around Westlands. Actually, it's not very far from.
It's at the mall.
At the mall, yes, at the basement of the mall. So that was very cool. That was cool. It was a gang rather. I was gonna say gang. And the I forgot who they are. Espresso was playing, so they had a show. It was super dope. They had a show. They Sambugwa Yalison, aka Yalison, he had a set. Salo had a set, DJing, and then Espresso came out. They did a couple of songs, did some of the unreleased stuff and some of the their hit.
Okay.
Who else performed? TG Black was out there. TG Black performed. She's a very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's dope. Like she got the crowd really hype. Interesting, because I've never seen her live.
Yeah.
So that was interesting meeting her. And just seeing her perform and the energy and everything. So that was really cool. Who else performed? A couple of people. I'm trying to see. It was them. So it was a mix between like Espresso will come on, then they had another performer, Espresso. Ian at some point did perform Mr. Sneaky Link, which was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an interesting. First off, when I got to the Mist, the Mist is a very, I don't know, I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's a very very shady looking spot. Like it's just old and when I walked in there, the first thing I thought was like a bunch of crimes have probably been committed inside this in this small spot. It's just a very.
God, Sam!
Is that bad to say?
No,
can I say that?
Cook.
Oh no, but yeah, it was. I was like, oh man, this is a very, very interesting little spot. But it was cool. It was very. It was adequately sized.
Was it packed? Were there many people?
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, I won't say it was full. If everyone congregated together, I won't say it was probably halfway, or maybe a little less than halfway full. It wasn't like a big crowd, but it was cool. I saw a bunch of people in there from the music scene. Valerie Mudoni was out there. Zinnia was out there. Iana was out there.
Big Z.
Yeah. Just a whole bunch of people, man. I think I saw Maya Omolo at some point.
Valerie, fire.
Yeah, it's like that crowd, you know, that but they all came out to support Espresso. That's why I wasn't planning on staying, honestly, when I got there first. But I decided just to stay and see what the boys.
But the vibes kept you there, man.
Yeah. So I stayed all the way till the end. It was very cool. Interesting outing. And yeah, I ended at around like 1 a.m. Went home. Shout out to Espresso, man. Love what they're doing, man. I'm just happy for them. Mr. Lou revamp. It's just cool seeing them go. Continue to create for so long, you know, from the SoundCloud days. Boys have been putting out music.
Those are the peers for real, man.
Yeah.
Because I know when I started producing, like, was around the same time like Mr. Lou was producing. So like it's just those are people who we've grown up with in the industry.
Yeah, you just want to see them succeed. You just want to see them succeed. A lot of them in there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, that was that. So we talked about us doing a Q&A last week.
Yep.
And I want to say shout out to you guys for actually coming through and asking us a bunch of questions. So yeah, we just kind of wanted to have like a chill episode where we just kind of, it's an episode about the podcast essentially and its members.
Another part
i.e. myself and Sam. Yeah. So we're just kind of talking about the questions that you guys asked and hopefully giving you guys more insight into who we both are and so bro, I think I should just get right into it. So Sam, my nephew actually asked a question on Instagram and he was asking why. He was essentially asking like why I chose to get into music.
Yep.
So I want to extend that question to you, and then I'll answer after that. So why did you choose to get into music, and how did that all start?
How did I get into music? This is really interesting. So I think when I was younger, my dad bought me, those, I don't know if you ever got one of those Casio keyboards that had like preloaded songs on them and that you could like play.
Yeah, I know the ones you're saying. You're saying, yeah.
So he brought, I think, well, let me start before that. From a younger age, I've always been interested in music. Like I used to sleep with the radio on, listening to music in the night. And it just interested me in some way, but then I wasn't really into it like that. And then when I got that keyboard, I started playing around. Funny enough, I didn't even learn how to play the piano. The first thing I was doing was sampling. Like I'd trigger the songs up there and the beats and stuff like that to try and make new songs rather than actually play the piano. I really wish I focused on playing the piano because now I'm struggling. But yeah, so I did that. And then for a while, that was cool. And then back in the days, we had like Java phones. The Java applications, download like games from like WapChick and whatnot, like Gameloft and stuff like that. There was this app called Vibe. So it was essentially what it was a mini DAW.
Where
it had like kick, snare, like maybe like a full drum set, and then it had maybe a keyboard, a piano, synth, pad, and like strings and stuff like that. So that really fascinated me. So I started making ringtones, like remaking ringtones. Then I went into like reproducing songs. Like I'd do like a Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry, and like make the full song in ringtone mode on my phone. And I was so excited. I was like, this is the best thing ever.
I remember the ringtone mode. I used to try and figure out how to like make In the End by Linkin Park. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so the app was called Vibe. Like I actually went to look for it because it was instrumental to my producing. Anyway, let me make this shorter. And then that was actually pre-FL. So maybe a few months after I discovered Vibe, someone introduced me to Fruity Loops. And right around that time also, I started doing like live music. Not live music, doing live sound engineering. So that all came together. And then once I started, to be honest, I haven't stopped. That's how I got into it.
Yeah. And how long ago would you say, like when you started?
About to age myself. So I want to say, let me just start in terms of how I started producing my DA in like FL. I want to say I started using FL seriously in 2010. So how many years is that now?
That's like 14 years ago now. Oh my God.
That's a long time ago. But yeah, I was messing around with FL in 2010. And then I think I got serious about like working with artists and producing and engineering in 2014 when I was in campus. So yeah, it's a long time ago, man. Dang, I've aged myself.
That's fun.
Yeah, how did you get?
That's fun.
How did you get into it?
For me, it's such a random, like in 2012, I believe, Chief Keef released the song I Don't Like. And I've told this story multiple times. Like I listened to that song and then I was just like, yo, this is insane. So I just did some research onto who produced it. And I found out it was produced by Young Chop. And
Young Chop on
I looked for Young Chop and I was just like, he's just like a just like a bigger kid, dreads from Chicago. Like nothing about Young Chop screamed like cool, but like I really
superstar producer. No,
I really I saw myself in that.
Oh, no.
I saw myself in that, and I was like, I know, that's not great, but like, I was just like, yo, if Young Chop can make something so amazing, then so can I. So I just Googled how do people make music,
Really?
and everyone was like Fruity Loops, FL Studio. So so I downloaded FL Studio, I think, for the first time. I want to say in like 2013.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be a trap producer.
Yeah.
I just
No, so you bought it, of course.
Oh yeah. Purchased it, of course.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to be a trap producer. Actually, I wanted to be a drill producer. Like I wanted to make Chicago drill. So I just Googled how do you make that, and I bumped into busyworksbeats.com. Anybody who makes music knows about Busyworks Beats. So bumped into his videos, and he was giving tutorials. Actually, before I bumped into him, I bumped into some other content creator who was showing you like all the features on FL Studio. And when I watched that video, I got so overwhelmed because there was just so much about FL Studio that I just didn't understand. And so I quit making music. I quit even learning how to make music using FL Studio it was like 1 full year.
Wow.
Sam, like I gave it up because I was like, this is too complicated. And then a year later, I was like, nah, I have to run this back. Like I really want to learn how Chief Keef and all of them make like these slaps. So I was like, you know what, this time I'm just gonna stick with it. And I think that's when I found Busyworks Beats, and he simplified it like way more than the other person who I was watching. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And so then I just started making trap beats. And I remember I made a whole tape of like 14 songs of trap beats, and I still have them.
Oh man,
nobody will ever find them.
I need to hear those. I need to hear. Can you play one? Could you play one as an intro for the podcast, please, bro? Please.
You want me to play one for the intro of the podcast?
Please.
I actually can. Like I genuinely can.
Oh man, I want to hear that.
Yeah, the one that went crazy, it went platinum on the streets, was called Fire Trap. I named it Fire Trap. I was it was called Fire Trap, and I was so proud of that beat when I produced it. That was the first beat I produced that I was like, okay, maybe I'm destined to be a producer. If you listen to it, it's like really trash, but so that's how I essentially got into music. And then from there it was just watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials. And around like 2016, that's when like internet money were becoming big or was starting, and then they were doing a bunch of YouTube tutorials, and I really got invested in those, and just kind of kept at it.
That's dope.
So that's essentially a brief Cliff Note version of how Sam and I got into music.
Got started into music. I guess
next question.
Yeah, I guess.
Go ahead.
Through like, just as someone else asked, through my lens asked, because it's sort of related, right? What uni did you all? I guess did.
No, you should shout. I think we should shout them out.
Yes, through my lenses .png here. Asked, what uni did you all attend? What did you study? And did you have career anxiety and confusion after? Afam, you go first.
Okay, so thank you for this question through my lenses.png. So I went to after high school, I wanted to be a doctor. So I went to I got into UON. And I was studying medicine.
Yep.
Your boy was on course to be a doctor. So I did that for 3 years. And in that time, that's when I kind of like found out that I'm really artistic, because I was drawing and I was also making music. And unfortunately, if you're doing something like medicine, or if you're studying something like medicine, it's very hard to like be super, super invested in activities outside of that. And eventually I was just like, I have to pick, like, do I want to do this, or do I want to, be a doctor? Because, bro, like, medicine is very, very intense, especially when you start going to the wards and you're doing ward rounds. And you have to kind of dedicate your whole life to that stuff. And I just was like, I'd see my friends and I'm like, I just felt so disconnected, because like everyone else around me was, or seemed, super invested in the whole medicine thing. And for me, I just wasn't feeling the same way.
Yeah.
And I was wondering like what's wrong and everything. But yeah, eventually I just had to pick one. And so then after that, I ended up leaving medicine and got lucky enough to come to the States, of which I got into a uni in Texas called TCU, Texas Christian University, where, funnily enough, I still did something that was related to like the biology and chemistry field. It was called Combined Sciences. So I did both biology and chemistry, like as my majors. And then I did a minor in English.
Oh, nice.
And I did that. So that's what I did for undergraduate. And then after that, I did a master's. So I got into Syracuse University, which is in New York. I did a master's in audio arts, which was music business as well as sound engineering. And have I ever had any career anxiety? All the time, because like audio music is it's a creative field, and you know how those fields usually are, like, you have to be very organized, I guess, to get the best out of these fields. So yeah, I mean, all the time, but I don't think I would ever trade anything for this, like just the ability to sit down and create something from scratch that didn't exist before, and for that thing that you created to be the most meaningful thing ever. Like, that's a feeling that's irreplaceable, and I would never trade that for anything. So yeah, that's kind of my story. How about yours?
I went to Daystar University. I studied psychology at Daystar University. And then currently doing a master's in the same thing. So it's psychology and music. Music was just sort of always the fun, creative. Like I said, I think I've always been a creative too. And I mean, sorry, like you said, I think I've just always been attracted to creativity. And so there's definitely because those two fields are seen as separate fields, like psychology and creativity, but there's definitely ways you can merge them and do things in either field to complement the differences. So career anxiety. Listen, when you get into the music field, before you become an established artist, there is a lot of anxiety and just trying to figure it out. And so
much.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know if there are many artists artists and producers or people in the creative field who don't deal with some sort of creative career anxiety. And let's be real, we are, the common narrative is that we're in Africa, and African parents and, the society in general does not value creativity as high as it values like being a doctor or being a lawyer or some other more sure field. So there's always that there's always that push and pull in the mind of a creative. But again, like Afam said, I would not want to be doing anything else, because just getting up and making something from nothing and having that mean something to either me or somebody else is priceless. So, yep.
Priceless. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. So Mihagarati, which by is a top tier Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mihagarati asks, what are both of your top 5 genres to listen to?
Good question.
Sam.
Okay. Off the bat, in no particular order. Number 1, EDM. I like
number 1 EDM. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you said in no particular order. Sorry,
maybe
look
when
at
I get
me
to
already failing the exam.
maybe when I get to the end, I'll organize them. But let's go. So we do EDM. I like to listen to folk music. So very stripped down, minimalistic. Probably just like a voice on guitars, soft drums, if anything. So I like that. So my favorite artists are, what's bro's name? Ben Howard, and that kind of music. I really enjoy that. I can't name more off the top of my head, but yeah. And then, so there's EDM and different genres of EDM too, apart from dubstep. Then Afrobeat has been creeping up. If I was putting it in order, Afrobeat would probably be last. Actually, hip hop might be last because I don't listen to much hip hop. And so we have EDM, folk, hip hop, Afrobeat, and orchestral music. Music.
Music.
Yeah, scores, and I really enjoy. And I love me a good Lion King soundtrack, and Johann Pachelbel. I don't know how to pronounce that, and Beethoven. I really enjoy that kind of music. I would say it's those. Of course, there's sub-genres in there, and there's different genres I gravitate to within hip hop, and I gravitate to within, but I guess generally.
I was gonna extend that question and just say, give us your top 3 artists / bands. I know, hard question.
Ooh,
just name them. Just name. Just go.
Artists.
Just go.
Okay.
Yeah. Just off the top of your head.
The top of my head. My favorite band currently is Maribu State. That'll be my favorite band. They do electronic music or electronic live music. Dang, I think it's just it might be just them. What's his name? What's the guy? The guy who produced the Lion King soundtrack and all the other soundtracks that we love. What's his name? Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer is up there. I love Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, he's amazing. One last one. Oh man, can I think about that? Because I don't just want to say something for saying sake.
Just one. Just say one. It's not too deep. Just say name first that comes to your mind.
First that comes to my mind, Ben Howard, I'd say. I like Ben Howard. I like what Ben Howard is doing.
Nice.
I like what Ben Howard is doing. Yeah.
Okay, for me, first of all, I just like to say our music tastes are so different because there are names you've mentioned that I have no idea who they are. I'm not gonna lie. So I need to get into that. Yeah. I need to listen to these different bands and musicians. So that's pretty cool. So for me, I guess my top 5 genres. Okay. I think the genre of music that got me into music was rock. That's the first thing that I really resonated with. And then I would say trap and hip hop, that holds a big part in my life.
Yeah.
R&B. Of late, R&B I think is steadily rising to being my number 1 genre that I listen to. Afrobeats, of course, but specifically more Alte stuff. That's my vibe. Anything that's more Alte is just what I love. I've really, in the past 3 years, gone down the drum and bass rabbit hole. So I want to say drum and bass is also a big staple. For me. I think those are 5, right? If I was to answer my own question about my top 3 artists, I would say Paramore has to be there. I'm a massive, anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Paramore
You've talked about Paramore a lot.
Yes, Paramore is just Hayley Williams, Taylor York. Bro, fantastic, phenomenal musicians.
Nice.
I would say my second, oh my God, this was a hard question. You weren't lying. I've been a huge Nirvana fan. I know that's like such a like obvious like thing, like band to like, but like, yeah, Nirvana were always up there for me. And I just resonate with their music like insanely. Back in the day, I would say Drake was a huge artist I listened to a lot.
Yeah.
I still listen to his music a lot, but not as much as I used to. But just for that run between 2011 to like 2014, 15. Yeah, I listened to a lot of Drake music. So not even 2011, like 2010.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we listened to a lot of Drake music. So, yeah, Drake. Also System of a Down. That's one of my favorite bands.
Dang,
anyway,
you're
yeah.
bringing up names.
It's a hard question.
Names I haven't thought about in a minute.
Yeah.
That's okay. I have an extension question. Real quick. You're on an island and you can only listen to one song currently.
Oh, yeah. We Were Meant to Live by Switchfoot.
Oh, we were meant to live. That's a banger.
That's my favorite song of all time.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that right now. That's my favorite song of all time. I can listen to that song on a loop for infinity and I'll never hate it.
That's really cool.
How about you?
Because that's in my top 100 songs of all time too. Right now, it's a song called Nica Libre's At Dusk by Ben Howard. It was on my most played song for the past 3 years, and I'm sure this year Spotify is going to put it number 1 too. I don't know. It's just a brilliant song. So, yeah. There's
Ben
that.
Howard. I need to check him out.
Yeah, it's very white man with guitars music. I don't know. I like what I like. Let's go to the next question. One real _ statesman, shout out to you, asks, what do you think about conscious rap and doing this in Kenya with the use of orchestra beats? Afam, what do you think?
Well, one real statesman, I would say, bro, I think conscious rap is very, very necessary, especially in these times that we're in, like where our socio-economic as well as our political like situation is just really, really messed up. We need way more people doing conscious like music, even in general.
Yeah.
Right? Because, bro, you know, like, I think now is the time for the conscious stuff, you know, not just the ignorant, like, which I still like ignorant music. That's just like a vibe.
Who doesn't love a good ignorant
I think
song?
now is the time for conscious. Yeah. I think it's just time for conscious rap in general. And doing that in Kenya, yes, perfectly okay. I mean, like you see the likes of Kilihipi, Boy Black, those guys, they're always out here like, you know, spitting. Rest in peace to Jason Kalinga, man. Jason Kalinga is forever gonna be in our hearts. But the stuff that he was rapping about in those days on SoundCloud, I was like, how was he so informed and how did he have access to so much meaningful information? And like he was thinking about things so critically back then when I feel like the rest of us were just kind of thinking about, I don't know, going to Westie or just having fun. I don't know, like. And you see, it's people like those who don't get forgotten. Like, I don't think we'll ever forget his impact in the industry. So yes, definitely conscious rap. It lingers more, it stays more, it has more staying power. And using orchestral type beats, yeah, why not? Yeah, what do you think, Sam?
Yeah. I think I share your sentiments. I think I don't want to put the burden on conscious rappers, but then conscious rappers are usually the ones who say much, who tell on the culture, and they're the journal of the culture. Of course, in terms of like the real deep stuff, the guys who are rapping about the fun, lighter-hearted stuff are necessary because we need to break some of that seriousness. But conscious rap is cool, man. I do think we need to figure out a way to make conscious rap. I feel like conscious rap has always been, for the most part, a niche and a neglected part of the industry, and we sort of leave it to like the underground people and stuff. But then it really helps if it's put in the mainstream. Locally, guys like Gidi Gidi Maji Maji, and the older rap groups who spoke a lot about what's going on in the city and tried and made that popular. We need more of that these days. Also, we need a lot of people talking about what's going on, and doing it over orchestral beats. I honestly haven't heard that, but I want to hear conscious rap over some strings and
But that always, what do you mean? Like that always goes hard.
Yeah, it does. Okay, and not like samples. Not samples, like so. You know what would be cool if someone does a show and they're a rapper and they stand in front, like let's say pick a venue, Alchemist, and they're doing their raps and whatever, but rather than beats and stuff, it's just like 4 violinists and a cellist.
Didn't like Metro Boomin do that once or something? I know Metro did like an orchestral.
Yeah. I think that was recently.
That would go hard.
It would be crazy, yeah. But I'd like to see that. Someone should do that. Hey, that's an idea. That's an idea out there.
Giving ideas away for free.
Imagine that. Craziness, right? That's what we do here.
Okay. So next question. This is from I believe it's Mikey Dread or Mickey Dread or that Yardy guy on Instagram, and he DMs us and he says, I started listening to the pod from I think episode 27. Ski, if you see me here, the ski episode. Anyway, wow, that was episode 27. Interesting. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, this is my ADHD brain. So he says, Ski, which was the title. I would like you guys to talk about your fears and how you overcome them.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah,
are we doing that?
What are your fears?
Oh, man. No, we're not about to get like super deep. I'll keep it brief because I do be thinking a lot. One of the things I've struggled with as a creative it's not necessarily the fear of failure, but it's the fear of success. Because with the
Sam.
because with are you
with the fear of success?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
let's go. Sorry. Let's go.
This is how I've processed it, right? My fear is that if I do something really well, and it's the fear of failure masqueraded in the fear of success, I think, because if I do something well, I'm going to have to keep that up, and that's the pressure that we put on ourselves is, okay, like for example, if you have a hit song as an artist and you fear, you're afraid of, am I going to be able to make a new one and a new one? And am I going to be able to sustain that? And then am I going to grow?
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid.
And so you're afraid, you're not necessarily, so you're afraid of failing, but you're so afraid of failing that you fear success and actually being good at what you're doing. And that's such a terrible mentality to have. Like it's horrible. It's something that I've, like, if I'm being vulnerable, like I've really worked on. And the way you get over it for me, I guess, is to take that pressure off yourself. Like it's okay to, like, not everything has to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like start, like, and you usually say it a lot in the 3 C's too. Just one step at a time. It doesn't have to be a Grammy-winning song off the bat.
And some of those like songs that like do really well. I mean, Sam has gone through that, like with a song that's done really, really well commercially, and you just have to like appreciate these lightning in a bottle moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the thing with Lil Minor.
Yeah.
You just have to appreciate it for what it is and move on. Because I will never make another cocoa butter. And neither do I want to. I don't really want to make another
the thing,
one.
yeah. I'm not sure I want to remake that song, right? I want to move on and do something else.
Yeah. You just have to be like, it's cool that happened. But I want to make different stuff and don't try and chase that, because you will never like get it again.
Yeah.
You can only do different things. So you just have to let go of whatever those things and just kind of appreciate that, yes, it's great, it was great, but we're doing other things now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your fears? What are you afraid of?
I am afraid of heights. Yeah.
I'm here talking about fear of success. All right, let's go with heights.
Yeah. Me, I'm afraid. I'm not very good with heights. I remember once going on a date, and we were on a Ferris wheel.
Oh,
and
no.
Bro, I just did not enjoy that experience a lot at all.
Oh, were you holding on to the poor lady? Like, were you squeezing her hand?
Maybe I was. Maybe I was. She found it hilarious that I wasn't having a good
that's
time.
crazy.
So, I guess that made it memorable. But
you see?
What am I doing to overcome it? Nothing. I'm not going to be skydiving or bungee jumping anytime soon. I love the ground. The ground is nice. It's safe. And I will be staying with my 10 toes down. Yes, 10 toes down. I'm the definition of 10 toes down.
I like what gravity is doing. I like what gravity does. Oh, man.
Love it. I love it. Okay, that was fun. Do you want to...
Sure. Let me read another question. This one is a more technical one by Wanna Be Rich 11. Hey, wanna be rich? We all wanna be rich. Honestly, me too. He says he or she, I don't know. Can I use YouTube type beats without purchasing yet receive royalties? And then he puts sketch EMP wallet. I'm not sure what that is. But,
I'm not sure about the end of the question, but no, you can't, because that's gonna be fraudulent. Like, you can't just rip off beats from YouTube and expect to be paid. Of course, the producers are going to flag your stuff on YouTube. So I would not advise you to go on YouTube and just get type beats and not reach out to the producer and either agree on splits or buy the leases. So
although I would say
the brief answer to that is okay.
No, sorry, I would say if the producer, I mean, it still gets sketchy because sometimes producers do things to market themselves and they don't really mean it. But then if you really do want to get paid from royalties from YouTube type beats, make sure that it's clearly stated that it's a royalty free beat and it's free. Royalty free beat, right? That tech, and the producer doesn't want anything extra. They just want you to use the beat. But if you don't see that and it's more like reach out to me and stuff like that, like if the producer says reach out to me, and you probably should do that if you want to use the music. If not, the content bots, the content police, they're becoming really good at their job. So you can't just get away with anything these days.
But more context, even if a beat on YouTube says free, it's most likely not free. A lot of YouTubers or people who post beats on YouTube will just say that to get you to listen to the beat, but it's not free. If you read the description, there's always going to be a link to BeatStars or whatever, and then you purchase the beat from there. Or they might have like a deal where they'll say you buy one, get 3 beats free, blah, blah, blah. But still, you're still going to have to like bust down the royalty splits and everything.
Yeah, that's why I said like sometimes producers do that to push their stuff. But then just make sure that you know what the producer's conditions are for using the music before you use it. Don't just close your eyes and do it, because I mean, if you're a small artist, of course, no one would catch you, but then that could catch up to you later on. later on you blow up, you have a hit song, and then producers go back in, or he used my beat, and then now they're collecting everything. So yeah, I guess that's how we'd answer that. Do we have some else?
Yes, we do. Okay, so this is from I think it's Muti Marilyn. I'm just gonna say Marilyn.
Shout out to you, Marilyn.
And she's been asking, when are we gonna do a meet and greet? And so yeah, we'll just bunch the questions or the people who've asked, like, how can we meet you, or are we going to do a meet and greet? That type of vibe. Sam, tell us, when are we going to do a meet and greet?
Well, we could all purchase tickets to fly to New York. I think.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated now, just because I'm not in the country, but I will be in the country in the future. So
maybe we could plan
something like that soon.
Yeah.
It would be nice. It would be nice to meet all of you.
It would. It would. I mean, I've said this a lot, but then I really, and even over the weekend when I was at the Mist, I met a couple of people who are fans of the podcast, and it's just really interesting to see people who enjoy. So it'd be nice to meet and just have maybe have the sort of conversations we're having on the podcast, with people in real life. That would be super cool. So we could plan that,
and maybe say some of the things we can't say on the podcast in person. We might be some actual tea.
We can have the real conversations. But anyway, that would be cool. And it's also very humbling, I guess, and honoring that people would want to meet a bunch of hermits and producers to talk about stuff. So I personally am honored. Thank you for wanting to meet. We'll figure it out.
But it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, Sam. You've met I think I've met a handful of people who've listened to the podcast in person.
Yeah.
Which so for me it's I don't even know if these people out if they, I feel sometimes I feel I'm just talking into the void. So it's reassuring to hear that you've met people in person.
Oh no,
that's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. What else was on the questions?
I think so. Linked to that, Chiweru Official asks, how do you get to be in the show?
How do you get to be on the show? Okay, so essentially when we started this podcast, Sam and I were very, very unwilling to even interview artists, because when we started this podcast, we were we just want to talk to music industry professionals, the people behind the scenes, the managers, the A&Rs, the booking agents, the talent agents, blah, blah, blah. That's all we wanted. Those are all the people we wanted to talk to, because we wanted this to be a podcast that gives you insight into how the music industry operates, essentially. But since then, we've become a little bit more open to the idea of talking to artists, talking to producers, and just
being
more free flowing, I would say.
Yeah.
But I guess how would people get to be on the podcast? I mean, there has to also be a bit of a rapport. We have to, kind of at least have some conversations behind the scene, maybe meet in person. So we know there's chemistry there. And I mean, usually if these things, I don't want to get all not astrological, but hey, if it's meant to happen, it will happen.
Yeah.
That's such a bad answer.
Okay, Sarah. Whatever will be. Yeah. True. Yeah. I mean, so everyone has opinions. For me, I'm also interested in talking to the people who listen to music, right? Because their opinions is what drives, for the most part, what drives the people behind the scenes to make the decisions that they make, to some extent. So, I mean, if there's a way we could, again, chemistry, if we have that sort of connection, I guess we could figure out something. But yeah.
In conjunction to this, Shirley the CLA asks, would we collab with other artistic podcasters?
Ooh.
So I guess we could also extend this to, would we do other podcast collabs? And I think we've only done one podcast collab. Or have we done more?
Yeah.
We did the Breaking Hearts. Like way back in the
earlier.
day.
Way back in, did you say way back in the day? Like we've been doing this for years.
Okay, it was last year. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Yeah, it was last year.
It's still way back though. You've had a long...
I guess in a nutshell, the answer is yes. Yeah, we would definitely collab with other podcasters.
Yes.
Yeah, why not? I think it would be fun to collab with other podcasters. So
yeah, especially other podcasters that are also talking about like music and stuff like that in this space. It'd be good to chat it up with them.
I just want to shout out MC Gabs. MC Gabs on this also asked he said that his question is, can I meet you? So I will just want to shout him out for also adding to that conversation. Yeah. Let's see. Wizzy, who goes by Wizzy Boy, not Lil Wayne, but Wizzy Boy on Instagram asks, hey, I'm a big fan of the podcast. I'm from Umoja. I've been listening to your views on the music industry in Kenya, and it's evident that you have some knowledge that 90% of the masses don't have. Oh my God, thank you. He says, I do music as well, and my question is, do you guys offer recording sessions and mastering?
If I can speak for me myself,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about that in the further in the DMs. But yeah, I guess that can be arranged. That can be arranged if you do music.
That can be arranged. I mean, for me, I guess the answer is yes, for sure. Like mastering, recording,
mixing.
Right now, it's also, I mean, we're also very, well, I don't know, well, if I can also speak for myself, I'm also curating the artists who I work with.
Yeah.
So it just depends. There are times where you work purely on a pay basis, but there's sometimes you also want to
build with people.
Work with people who you're artistically invested with, I guess. Yeah. So it depends. So, Sam, this question actually comes from your brother.
Hey, gang.
So, your brother D asks, when are y'all dropping music together? And well, how can he rap on that? Essentially.
Shout out to D.
So yeah, Sam, tell the masses when we are dropping music together.
Put it on me. Actually, it's really, I was reminding Afam earlier on. Like we were supposed to, when we first met, we were supposed to work on a project. We were supposed to redo older R&B songs and make them modern. And then put out an EP of that. But 4 or 5 years later, here we are. At least we are working on something different with the podcast. When are we working on?
Yeah, I mean, we did the ultimate collaboration.
What was that? Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the
podcast.
Yes, that's the ultimate collaboration. Release an album every week. Every week in terms of timing.
Although, Sam, we did collaborate on a song. The only problem is it never came out.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about it? I mean, is it going to come out at this point?
Yeah, no, it's not going to come out, but we can talk about. So I included a clip of us listening to the song on the video, which we posted on our Instagram.
Yeah.
And me and Sam both co-produced a song for Butchos way back. And well, I say that the song was called Back to Back.
Back to Back.
And yeah, that was such a nice session, Sam.
That was dope.
When we
that was
came
the first time we ever sat down to make a beat together. We should do more of that, I guess. But Afam is busy. Afam is really busy just getting the money, and so he has no time for me.
What?
When Afam gets time,
don't even start that as a narrative. What are you talking about?
when he gets time and he's able to give me like just 20 minutes of his very, very busy money making schedule, then we'll do it. And D, of course, will again jump in the DMs.
We'll rope you in.
Tell him my brother to jump in the DMs.
If we think, listen, if we think we can, have like some some good chemistry. That's hilarious.
Oh man, no. We should think about something. We should think about doing.
We should,
stuff.
Sam. We genuinely need to collab.
Yeah. And it better be fire too. Can you imagine if we make a song and it's not good?
Oh my God! By the way, we have so much pressure. We have much pressure.
That kills the whole podcast.
Man.
Like, these two, they're always talking about music and calling other people's music like it could be better. And here they are releasing some trash. Nah, it has to be great.
That would suck. Yeah. So if we release anything, it has to be astronomical.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, we'll definitely listen. That's an idea for the future. So we'll definitely put that in our list of ideas. Okay, so I guess we have two more questions. This one comes from It's Masha, who says, "Hey fam, been listening to 30%." I see what he did there with the A fam. I'm listening to 30%, episode 99. Shout out to both of you, by the way, for the work and progress. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to everybody who's, just shouted us out or congratulated us for getting to episode 100. Thank you.
Shout out to you guys.
So anyway, he says, So he says, so I started listening to the podcast on episode 64 and I liked the podcast so much I caught up and started again on episode 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Currently on episode 50. Wow.
Okay.
He says the goal is to be caught up on all the episodes by the time 100 drops. Only worry is now I won't have any more episodes to watch. Might do it all again just for the pure gems you drop. Oh my God, that's so nice.
And that's a lot of Sam and Afam in your ear too. Thank you though. I appreciate it, man.
And then he says, enough glazing though. Okay, yes, he's redeemed himself a little bit. Enough glazing though. I'm about to officially launch my producer journey. Been bedrooming since 2019 and I'd like to have a go at being professional, like placements and etc. Any tips you have would be greatly helpful. And hopefully you could talk about this on episode 100. Sam, take it away.
Oh man, my first advice would be find newer. When we talk placements, producers tend to, especially when you're starting, you have very, very, very lofty high goals and you want to produce for the hit makers and everything. But it might be either way is profitable depending on how you go about it. But it's a lot, for me personally, I found it more fulfilling. I didn't actually say it like that. I found it very fulfilling. I'm not going to say more, but I found it very fulfilling working with smaller artists and just people around you who might not necessarily have the name, but you see something in them and then you can build with them and create and build a trust and a chemistry. I mean, we look at some of the biggest duos in terms of producer artists. If you look at like the States, Drake and 40, Boy Wonder and Drake. Drake has had a whole bunch of them actually.
Metro Booming and Future, Metro Booming and 21 Savage, Pierre Bourne and
Justin
Playboy
Timberlake.
Carti.
Yeah. There's so many producers where you take them from when they're smaller, not younger, but then smaller and just newer, I guess. And then you work with them and you both grow together. That's honestly one of the best ways you can do it because then you've established a trust as you grow on. And the more you do that, the more attention you would draw to yourself because you're not just sitting there shipping off work, like you're actually building something. So that's the first aspect. Second aspect is, listen, if you want placements and you want to work with some of the whoever it is, big artists, small artists, you have to shoot your shot. Just shoot your shot. Jump in the DMs. Go talk to their managers. Go for their shows. Be around the artist and try and put yourself in their world, not necessarily just sit down and send DMs off. It actually helps you like go for a show. It gives you these brownie points there.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, I completely agree with you, Sam. I feel like for me, like in my producer journey, like when I started now, like being confident in enough to start sending beats to artists, I think that was like 2016. And bro, I just used to send a lot of DMs like on SoundCloud. Bro, remember, did you ever like message people on SoundCloud?
I know.
Like that was my, that was my bag. That was my bag. I used to message people directly on SoundCloud. And then also just used to be in the DMs like shamelessly. Bro, I used to try and work with
everyone under the sun.
Anybody in the industry. Wait, say that one more time.
No. So you used to try and work with everyone under the sun. Just whoever is alive.
Nah, for real, bro. I'm pretty sure I even sent a DM to like Jay-Z like when I was starting. I was like, yo, I'm trying to and I know that sounds like a joke, but I'm not joking.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But anyway, yo, like you just have to shoot your shot. Bro. And I can't even lie, you're going to get rejected probably like 90% of
I was just about to say that. Like that's part of it. Don't take that personally.
It's and it's hard to not take it personally, especially when you associate yourself so deeply with the music, because the music sometimes becomes an extension of yourself. It's like if that gets rejected, then you're being rejected. And that's genuinely something that I've struggled with a lot, because it's just like, it's hard because sometimes you work so hard on some stuff and you have genuine like dope intentions and you really want to like make it and you want to work on this with an artist and they just don't give you the same energy. But you just have to move on and, like Sam said, not take things personally. But I think being outgoing, going to shows, meeting the managers, super important. Like for me, the song Cocoa Butter came along because I have a friendship with Steph, the rapper who manages Lil Maina, and she was looking for beats, and I said, I have beats, and I sent them to Lil Maina through her, and he came to the studio, listened to them, and boom. Also try and put yourself in positions where things happen. So if there's a studio around you that you know about, try and get yourself in there. There are a bunch of producers who I know who are super, I wouldn't say their names out here, but like who are super keen to just be in the studio all the time. And they just take advantage of being there to like, even if they have 15 minutes to do their thing outside of like what's actually happening in the studio, like they take that opportunity and run with it. Like they'll record like something in the small time that they have. But most importantly is what Sam said. If you want to really, really make it, look around you. Forget about the people who are already established. Those people are gone. Look around you and look at the people who are at your level. Like if you see somebody who's just starting out, maybe they're not so good, don't even worry about that. But if you see an element of brilliance in them, and you know that like in 2 years this person can be really good, stick with that person. Because the people who you're at the same level with today are the people who will be like big names in the future. So just have that foresight and understand, I won't get the success right now, but it's going to come. So you just have to be open to the idea of working with
building,
just like your peers. Yeah,
that's true. And
okay, Sam. And
sorry,
go ahead.
Just to wrap that up, you gain more skills working with new artists, because then like if you're really keen into making the music work and it being successful, then you have to learn things like marketing and how to promotion, and even just like working with an artist in the studio, rather than just shipping off beats. And so there's just more you can learn from working with a newer artist and having one artist or two artists, however many that you are building with. That helps a lot. Yeah, Bo.
Okay, Sam, the last question
Misho
comes from Nash. Yeah, Nash Chege goes by Sayanka on Instagram. And he says, this is a bit of a loaded question though. Hey guys, I hope you're well. I have just listened to the podcast and I have a question. I'm a budding producer making EDM. I will hopefully release a track in the next few months.
Go.
Congratulations to him. I am not encouraged by everything that I hear about our CMOs. I would like to join a foreign one. Outside the American ones, they withhold 30%. I'm not sure about that, but okay. Would there be any ones that you recommend? Let me just answer. So I think the one that I know is really good, the collective society I know that's really, really good, is, I believe, the South African music rights organization, the SAMRO. I believe they serve like other African artists who are just not in South Africa. Yeah. So they are definitely worth doing research into. And Sound Exchange is another one that you can apply to, and they service like the global stage. Although I think they mostly work on, or they collect royalties for, I believe, is it called non-terrestrial music? So not music on radios. I think it's like
music with aliens?
Things like Pandora and Sirius XM and stuff like that. Okay. So they collect royalties from there, but it's still worth looking into Sound Exchange. Those are the ones that I know. But SAMRO, like going down the SAMRO rabbit hole will definitely
lead to something. I mean, you could
lead to like some answers.
You could still sign up with like BMI and ASCAP. It's that they don't close it off to. I don't know if they do distribution, but then they, in terms of collecting royalties, it's possible to sign up from wherever you are. And one of those is free. Is it BMI or ASCAP that's free to sign up?
I think they're both free to sign up now, but okay. The only thing is I think their jurisdiction is gonna be limited to music that's played
that's the caveat is you probably will only be able to collect from music that's played in the countries that they service. So but yeah, there's a bunch.
But you never know.
Yeah. There's a bunch in Europe.
So there's a bunch.
Like just do research.
I think there's one in like Ireland that people go to. So yeah. But SAMRO is a good place to start. Yeah, Sam. Okay. Well, I think that's all for the questions.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, that was actually really fun. So shout out to you all for actually asking us questions and engaging with us. And yeah, man, I just wanted to say thank you for listening to this podcast for 100 episodes. You don't know how much that means to both Sam and I, man. It's been a roller coaster. It's not been easy. Like Sam and I have like difficult conversations, like we're creating a brand, we're working together, but like at the end of the day, I feel like it's a worthy like cause, and it's a worthy thing. And I think just like the way we said with the music stuff, like I think it's something that I am grateful that we started, you know what I mean? So and shout out to everybody who said congratulations. Dana said shout out to you. Suki, shout out to you as well.
Abigail Diana with what's that? Ongeza Volume. I don't know why I blanked out. Ongeza Volume. Go check that podcast out too. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you to everyone who has given us some time. We appreciate it. And we hope that these conversations actually do what we intend for them to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's
So, I mean,
we usually review music. No, I just want to get. I mean, we usually review music.
We do,
but this, I guess, this week we'll just both play something that we want to put on. I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than go
Kenyan, of course. Kenyan still.
Yeah, definitely Kenyan. Definitely Kenyan.
So Sam, what do you want to play for? Oh my God, for the 100th episode, what song do you wanna? What do you wanna play?
I think I will go with there's a band that a duo that I've been sort of following a little bit. Two young ladies, and they go by We Are Nubia. They've dropped a couple of songs that I've enjoyed. This week they dropped a song called AIBU, produced by Wuod Omolo. So I just wanted to put that on. Here is We Are Nubia with the song AIBU. Yeah, We Are Nubia with their latest release, AIBU. I'm really interested in seeing what they do and how their career progresses. I'll be keeping a keen eye.
Shout out to you, Sam, for putting me on to We Are Nubia.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna check them out.
Fire.
For me, I would like to end this podcast by playing the song Last One, I Promise, by Zowie Kengocha.
The title confused me a
love
bit.
that song. Yeah. I love what she brings to the table. I think she's supremely talented, and yeah, man. So I think that's my song pick for the end of the episode. Last one, I Promise by Zowie, Kengocha. That was Last One, I Promise by Zowie, Kengocha. And yes, that's the last song we're playing today. So yeah, last one, I promise. Okay, you know what? I need to be stopped. 100 episodes in and I'm still corny.
Oh, goodness. That's fine. It's your brand.
I'll never change.
Yeah, man.
Yo, Sam.
100.
Episode 100.
Triple digits. Let's go.
Triple digits, bro.
Onward.
Let's go. Let's get this.
What's the saying? Onward and upward. Is that what people usually say?
Upwards. Yeah. Onwards and upwards. And again, we just want to tell you guys, thank you. This has been a long podcast, so I wouldn't do the 3 C's as usual, but you all know them by now.
Yeah, the 3 C's.
But yeah, just thank you guys so much. I've said it, like, we would not be anywhere without you guys. And Sam and I are genuinely looking forward to the future, or whatever the future holds for this podcast. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, man.
Bro.
Me too.
Sam. Yeah. All right. I guess we will see you guys in
101.
episode 101.
Yep.